Hello, everybody, and welcome to Confidence Tea Infusions. I'm your host, Virginia Madison. It is such a pleasure to have you on with us tonight. We have a very special guest, and we're going to be talking about do you know who you are? So I'm excited. Ladies, if you are tuning in for the first time, go ahead and let me know where you're tuning in from on the chat. This is definitely meant to be a conversation between us girls over a cup of tea. So I am so excited. I hope you have your cup ready because we're getting ready to pour you some mind transforming, soul edifying, confidence activating tea. And so I'm excited that you ladies have decided to tune in tonight. Hello, Latara. Hello, is this Jonita? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. And if you want to, please make sure that you give StreamYard permission in order for us to see your comments. So if you don't give them permission, we won't be able to see you. So welcome, ladies. I am so excited that you ladies have tuned in tonight. So glad to have you. Welcome to Confidence Tea Infusions. If this is your first time, oh, Albany, Georgia, what's up? Hey. So I'm glad you guys are tuning in. Hey, Latasha, how are you doing? Glad to have you. Welcome to Confidence Tea Infusions. I am Gigi. So happy you could be tuning in tonight, ladies. So excited. We have a good topic. We always have good topics on Confidence Tea Infusions. We always give you the tea. And so I am so excited to talk to you tonight with a very special friend, dear friend of mine. Oh, West Palm Beach in the house. Hey. I'm so glad you guys are here. Welcome to Kingsland, Georgia's in the house. Okay, first time supporting Coach Leslie. Awesome. Well, welcome, Latasha. So glad you could tune in. I know she's going to be happy to see you. So welcome. Just want to briefly introduce myself before we bring on our very special guest. So if you guys are tuning in for the first time, I'm Virginia Madison, but everyone calls me Gigi. I am a Jill of many trades, and I have done a lot of things. And so by trade, I have a degree in psychology, as well as a minor in family business, and I have a bachelor's in theology. I am a registered esthetician. I am a licensed insurance broker. I am a certified master life coach, and I am a certified etiquette consultant. So I say all that to say that I really have more degrees than a thermometer. But what I am most proud of is being the founder and CEO of Gigi Inc., which is Girls Igniting Greater Inner Strength. We are a nonprofit confidence building organization for girls ages 12 to 18, where we help them to journey through adolescence with positive self-esteem and healthy self-confidence so that they can win the mental, physical, and emotional battles of adolescence. And so that is what brings me the most joy. And that is what I love to do, is to help girls on their journey to adolescence. And so I am so excited that you guys could be here tonight. This is an extension of that. Along my journey of mentoring girls, I realized that us women, we need a safe place, and we need somewhere where we can talk about some of our confidence issues. And so this is how this platform came about. And Confidence Tea Infusions is more than just the conversation. It's transformation, edification, and confidence activation. And ladies, we do it in style, and we do it while we drink tea. And so we are coming up with our very own line of confidence infusion teas, which will be available to you soon. You can order them online. So I'm super excited about that. And so we just have so much good things happening. If you would like to be a guest on Confidence Tea Infusions, please just send us an email at confidenceteainfusions@gmail.com. So with all that being said, I want to introduce to you guys someone who is very special to me, a dear friend of mine, Miss Leslie Renee Mincy. She is also known as Lolati, the content queen. She's from Jacksonville, Florida. She is a mother of three beautiful children and 5 gorgeous grandchildren. She is the third of her parents' 6 daughters. She is a certified life coach through Embrace Your Training Solution. She is also a motivational speaker specializing in women empowerment. Her strengths are resilience and perseverance. And that is something that she tries to relay in all of her speaking engagements. And I have the opportunity to have known her for a couple of years now, and she has become a dear friend of mine. She is very special. She always brings out the best in people, and she has just drive and motivation, and she's so positive. So without any further ado, please welcome Miss Leslie Renee Mincy.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in and coming in and joining in on the conversation. I know that oftentimes you're here in the background, but tonight we get to conversate with you. And so I am so excited to have you. So excited to have you.
Great. Thank you so much. Just to piggyback a little bit more off of the bio, as you know, that was kind of a condensed version, but still very much true to what I'm trying to accomplish. I do have some other programs that I'm working on as well. I have No Mud, No Lotus Transformational Coaching and Development, which is headed up to be a mentorship program for young mothers. And that's one of the reasons why speaking on these platforms is so important to me, because it's so needed. It's so needed. So when I found out about Confidence Infusion Teas, I was like, this is so wonderful. And I've been watching you pretty much weekly. We've been having some awesome topics and awesome conversation. Last week about weight loss was spot on.
Deep. It was deep.
It really, really was. So I am very honored to be able to share this platform and talk about some of the things that I have going on, as well as you stated, just encouraging women, empowering women, and making this thing happen for us all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for being on. I always, I just never get enough of people, of women that, want to support, want to be a part, want to tune in and have the conversation, the real conversations, the conversations that are necessary to be had. And so for that, I thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity. As I stated earlier, we came together via the internet.
Yeah, the internet. Facebook. Yeah.
That's how we kind of, meshed and realized that our connection was a little deep. I mean, you have the same heart that I have for women, for young girls, really trying to get us out to step outside of the box and live our truths and live our lives and show and the fact that you key in on young girls, that is such a blessing, because it's so needed in this time. It is so needed. And it kind of speaks to the topic that I'm going to be talking about, which is, who do you think you are? And confidence is right there in your title. You know what I'm saying? It matters, because you can't have confidence. And I'm going to speak from a very transparent place. You can't have confidence if you don't know who you are.
That's the truth. Say that.
They go hand in hand. Like, that is just, you can try to church it up as much as you want to and, make it seem like that's the case. But if you don't know authentically who you are, then confidence is going to elude you. So I created this content from that place of always wondering what other people was thinking about me. Or that constant inner voice of, what are they saying? What do they think? What are they? And it's just been in the last year where I really had to be like, who cares what they say? What do you say? Who are you to you?
Yes.
When you look in the mirror every day, who are you to you? And that should be the first thought every day and the last thought at night. But we get so caught up, Gigi, in what others think and how we are perceived to other people.
So true.
And it can throw off your entire destiny.
Yes, that's
true. Because you'll have your fingers in the pots of programs and projects that you're not even supposed to be in,
Mm.
because you want people to see you a certain way.
Mm-hmm. You
And
want to be liked.
you want to be, gotta get those likes, Gigi. Gotta get those likes. And those likes are serious for some people. And they were
Mm-hmm.
serious for me. I'm not gonna lie. Facebook's been around for a hot minute. And I remember, like, it'll show you some memories from, I don't think I've seen any beyond 7 years. But even in that, when I initially got on Facebook, I was just, just putting anything on. Like, I'm watching a movie. I ate a sandwich today. Like, it was so meaningless and
It
just,
was. It was.
and now look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I have put a lot of time and energy into Facebook over these
Mm-hmm.
last few years, just keeping it real. And there's been some wonderful, wonderful things that have come from being able to have this platform, to
Yes.
finding family members, finding old friends, meeting new
Connections.
connections, network,
Yes.
speaking
Yes.
engagements, trips. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's an entity.
Yeah.
But what you have to do is get in where you
Fit
fit in.
in. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the same side of what we're saying, as far as wanting to be like and wanting to get those likes, it'll have you possibly doing things that you aren't supposed to be doing in this season. You could throw your journey a little bit off course simply by caring too much about what other people think about you. And I know, to a certain degree, we should have a certain level of concern for the opinions of others, but it's very small.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I'm talking about on the level of, I went to the grocery store and I had on a scarf. That little bit of, but when it comes to making major life altering decisions, when it comes to setting goals for your life and where you're trying to be in life, that needs to be coming from a place of inner confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes back to, who do you think you are? If you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be that confident, then where is that coming from? What place inside you is that confidence coming from? We have a lot of buzzwords that are trending right now. We have authenticity, being authentic,
Yeah.
narrative, your true self. Like, we have all these words that we're throwing out right now, and they're good words. Don't get it
Mm-hmm.
twisted. But are you really internalizing what those words mean for you personally on your journey?
Mm.
What does being authentic mean to you?
That authenticity is real. It hits home. It hits something so different when you start talking about being authentic, because people think, oh, I can be authentic and, and copying someone, and
Right.
it's like, that's not really how that works.
It's the complete opposite. It's the
Yeah.
complete opposite. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's one thing to see someone and want to, my idol, well, I want to call her my idol, my mentor. She doesn't, and I almost said she doesn't know I exist, yet I have a picture with her right here, but it's Iyanla Van Zant. And while I totally, totally engulf myself in her content, I make sure I'm not mirroring it. I'm not copying it. You know what I'm saying? I can still use the format that she uses to teach, but what I'm teaching is coming from what God has breathed into me. I'm not rewriting her content and saying that it's authentic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you have your own. God
Right.
has blessed you with your own, your own capabilities. You have your own words to say. You have your own message. So I think sometimes we're so caught up in, in the light, right? We want to be in that spotlight, or we want to be, we want to be that person.
Yeah.
And it's like we will dim our own light just to get a little bit of action of somebody else's light. And
Exactly.
sometimes you're not called to that particular light. You have your own that is inside of you that needs to shine. So don't dim your light trying to get in somebody else's spotlight.
Exactly. And you have to be able to recognize your light, which goes back to, who do you think you are, and which goes back to confidence. Because if you don't have that, then it's really easy to start, unconsciously mimicking other people. And not really realizing it, and feel like well, I'm out here and I'm talking and I'm doing stuff, but it's not coming from a sincere place. And sometimes it could be done with malicious intent. And then sometimes, like I said, it's completely unconscious because you haven't done the work to figure out who you are.
Yeah.
That's work. That is work all day long. And
again.
I'm going to spell work with a Q on the end, and we'll come back to that at some point, is WORQ. And let's put that in your back pocket. But the work has to be done because confidence is something that can be felt. When somebody comes in the room and they're confident, you can't fake confidence. You can't. You can't. You can fake it on the keyboard. You can type confidence in. You feel like you can post confidence. But when you step into
you
a
could
space,
filter it in. You could filter it in.
oh yeah, I filter in all the time. If I could have, I would have filtered away this little blemish here. But you can. But when you step into a space, when it has to be physically you coming into that space, that's not something that you can fake. That's something that exudes. That's something that comes through you, and people can pick that up. And a lot of people, they can either be intimidated by a certain level of confidence, or it can be inspiring. Yeah. And I want my confidence to definitely be inspiring, because there was a time when having a conversation like this, no. Now I talk all the time. Anybody that knows me knows me. I got a good talk game all day long. But putting myself out there, putting myself in front of people, that takes a lot of confidence for me. This is taking a lot of confidence. I'm nowhere near where I used to be, but there was a time where I would second guess everything that God was putting in front of me, every opportunity, because I didn't feel worthy of the opportunity. Not even thinking about the obvious. Well, if he's making the opportunities available to you, then surely you're worthy. Oh, but that inner critic wasn't going to have that.
No,
Do
absolutely
you think
not.
that she was going to just let me say, oh, okay, yeah, let's do this? No, not at all. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it takes years for people to shake that off before they're able to actually start walking in their God-given gifts and talents, because we don't see them as God-given. Because if you really hone in on what that is, just stay there for a second. God-given. He gave it to you. There are things that we do and we're just like, I don't even remember taking a class on that, or,
Right.
something. He's downloading stuff into you that you don't have the degree for, that you don't have the certification for.
Listen.
Yet you're flourishing in it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're flourishing in it because it was something that he gave to you. And that alone should incite so much confidence to say that he loved me enough to impart these things into me. Yet I stayed under a rock for so long, feeling that if I came out, then people would start to see me. Isn't that the girl that had all them kids when she was young? And it's me. Hi guys. You know what I'm saying?
Not knowing that journey that you went on, all of that was preparation. All of that was getting you together for the next. You had to have that child at 15 or 16 because there was a lesson in that you needed. Like that you couldn't get that in a degree. You couldn't get that in your schooling. You couldn't get that in the workforce. There are certain things that only life experiences. There are certain levels. There are certain breaking points that, like, all of it is preparation, for what your purpose is, like that, who you are. Like, that is so deep to me. Like, I thought, like, when you said that title, I thought, oh, wow, what a profound title, because sometimes people think, oh, yeah, I know myself. And I always tell people, can you go somewhere with yourself? And I did something. I did a segment one time called Dating Yourself. And it was, like, would you date yourself? Like, how much do you love you? How much do you know you? Have you sat across the table from you lately?
Right.
And seen what the perspective of it is? Do you spend enough time alone? Do you, and it's like, where are you? Like, I'm a people person. I love people. I love to talk. I like to talk to people. I like to be around people. I want to be on the phone with people. Right. I just love people. I love being around people. Like, I'm not really like, but at the same time, I still spend time with me, and so I think that it's so important to spend time with me, because over the years I've gotten to know me. And I have changed. And as I change, it's important that I recognize those things. Like, there were things that when I was 20, I thought were really cool. And like, now that I'm 30, they're not as cool to me anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to do
Yeah.
that no more. But there's just certain things, like I've done a lot of things on my own. I've traveled alone. And I tell people, until you have traveled by yourself, you don't know you. Because if you always going somewhere with everybody else, you doing what everybody else do, you don't
Yeah.
know what it's like to wake up somewhere and be like, I think I'm just gonna lay here.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, and it's so important. And I tell people, like, once in a lifetime, take a trip by yourself, go somewhere remote and spend some time with you. It will teach you so much about you. You'll
Yeah.
think, like, oh, I love this. And I used to think I had a completely different perception of what I thought I liked and enjoyed versus what I really liked and enjoyed. And
Yeah.
so I think it's so important that knowing who you are requires you to spend some time with you.
And check this out. Nobody teaches us that.
Mm-mm.
Nobody teaches us that. When you're young, and I'm just going to use your as a blanket statement, when you're young, go give your auntie Sugarfoot a hug. Go hug Granny so and so. Tell them you love them. Go. You see what I'm saying? We are
Mm-hmm.
always taught to give that love to other people that we don't even know. And of course, I understand it's family and you're doing the, tell, but nobody ever told me to tell me I love me.
Hmm.
That was nothing that was ever said to me in that way. Put it like that. In that way. Self awareness started very late in life for me. And I think one of the beauties of what you have going with your young girls with Gigi Inc. is the fact that you're teaching them that now. They're getting it now at a very young age, at a very early stage. So that was just very profound to me because I'm like, I remember, they just tell you that all the time when you're around family of your other people, even in church settings. You know what I'm saying? You have to love sister so and so and love missionary brother so. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever tells you to shine that light on yourself.
That's true.
How
It's so
do you feel
true.
about you? And you don't think about that. And just like you
Mhm.
said, until you sat by yourself, and I'm very much an introverted extrovert. I can be with people all day long, but I can shut it down and be so content to just be with me.
Yeah, yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? And I have
yeah.
to catch myself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wait a minute,
Mhm.
I'm in crab mode, engaged, and I will just go in. And that's not a place that I've always been. Sometimes you want to be around people to drown out trying to be with you.
Mhm.
You're trying to be, you're keeping the noise around. You're going over this person's house. You're always on the telephone. You're doing all of this. Can you hear me? It looks like you're frozen on my end.
Oh no, I can hear you. I can hear you good.
Oh, okay. So I think it's very important that in the grand scheme of knowing who you are, and that's an acronym, as you noticed, you typed it A.R.E.
Mhm.
Okay. So I want to get into what that acronym stands for. In the
All right.
process of knowing who you are, okay, you have to drown out the voices of everyone but God.
Mm.
You have to tap into your divinity. And I'm not going to label anybody's divinity. Whatever your divinity is, you need to tap into something bigger and greater than yourself. God is that for me. And we hear scriptures and we've heard them all of our lives, and they literally go in one ear and shoot straight out the other. When it comes to, greater is he that is in me.
Mm.
How many times have you heard that? But
I
how many
know.
times have you sat balled up in the fetal position crying because you
Mhm.
didn't feel like you could do it another day?
Hmm.
But the greater one was in you, right down that floor in that corner.
Yeah.
He was still there. But
Yep.
we weren't tapping into him. And that's what keeps us from being as confident as we can because we're not honing in on what is inside us, who is inside us. And once we do that, it's like, okay, if I stop looking at myself and looking at me as this lowly little person and start seeing myself as the person that I was created to be, who he created me to be, and stop always looking at myself from a place of lack, from a place of not enough. Every time I turn around, I can find a flaw. Every time I turn around, there's something I don't have. Something is always missing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And we have to stop that. So it's hard to, identify your true nature when you're pitting it against all these negatives.
Yeah.
So,
And we do that a lot, don't we? Like we
yes.
always gotta find something always the matter. Like we just can't be content. And even when we have reached a place of, you know, of a good place, like
Yeah.
we'll be at a good place. And
Yeah.
we will still go back and we'll criticize or analyze, and and we're just gonna find the worst part,
Yeah.
and we're gonna go to that place.
Yeah. I recently, and I don't know if I sent it to you, but if I didn't, forgive me, but I just picked a few random people to send the question to. What would it take? I said, answer this question and don't ask me anything about it. Just answer this question, because I wanted to see where people's mind would go. And I said, what would it take for you to be okay right now in this moment? And that could be a whole lot of things for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
One person out of about the 15 that I sent that question to, one person, well, two, but she sent it like a week after I actually sent it, but only during that time where I was just sending out the question. One person out of all those people, Gigi, said, I'm already okay. I'm good. I got, this is going on. It wouldn't take anything for me to be okay. I'm good right now. One person out of 14. Now, granted, the things that they were saying would make them okay, that they weren't bad things. Financial stability, paying off a car or a house. You know what I'm saying? Those are good things, but they still didn't feel like they were okay. What would it take for you to be okay? You see what I'm saying? And that's why I worded it that way. And that's why I asked them not to ask me any questions. Just answer it the way your brain and took it in. Now, here's the irony to that. The person that told me that everything in her life was good and she didn't need anything, I promise you, about 5 days later, her mom died.
Wow.
And that blew my mind. That blew my mind. And I was just like, just thinking at it from a place of where she was in her life. Things were good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I can't even say I need anything right now. Now, of course, I'm not going to ask that question anytime soon, but that answer has changed. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When things like that happen, we have to know who we are, because circumstances and situations will snatch our identity if we allow them to.
Yes, absolutely.
The loss of a loved one. I lost my mother. The loss of a loved one can make you start doubting your core foundation in life. You know what I'm saying? So when I say, who do you think you are? That's so loaded. It's a very loaded, it can go so many different ways, as you see.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get to a place, and I believe I've gotten to that place where I realized that my identity was in things, because I've had children at such a young age. I never really had the best of all the everything everybody had, all the trending outfits, all the this, that, and the third. I had kids. You know what I'm saying? At a very young age. So even they, unfortunately, weren't able to ride out in the latest hip fashions. I did what I could, but that still always made me feel less than, because everybody else has this and everybody else has that. But she might have the best outfit on, but her integrity could be -5. Like she's just, you know what I'm saying? You have on the best of everything. You're looking outwardly like you have it all together, but you have no character and you have no integrity.
Oh yeah.
And that's something that I could say I've gotten past before.
Or they're miserable.
Yeah.
They can look real good and just be miserable. And, like happiness, I feel like peace, joy, like God's gifts. Like, there's just certain things. Like, I don't want to
Fruits of
trade
the
my
spirit.
peace. Yeah. I don't want to trade my peace. I don't want to trade my joy. I don't want to trade my happiness for nothing in this world.
And I'm glad that I'm at that place now because I have two grandchildren now and I can counteract that mindset before they start getting to a place I can start teaching them what self-love is at 3 and 4.
Yeah. It's so
You know what I'm
important.
saying?
Hmm.
Trying to get it into them at a very young age so that you're not 16 trying to figure you out and allowing the opinions and the peer pressure and the all of that from other people to help dictate to you who you are. I'm this person because they say I am. I'm this person because they say I am.
Hmm.
My issue was I'm this person because I don't feel like I'm enough. I never felt like I was enough. And that came from uh just verbal abuse at a
Mm.
very young age from my father. Took my self-esteem, honey, and just mangled it. And
Wow.
into my adult life, hearing the insults, hearing just I identified myself by that because I
Mm.
was so young. You're doing it at an age where I'm just figuring out who I am. And in the back of my head, my father is saying that you're this name, that name, this name, that name. So I have battled for years with low self esteem because that stuff really took root in my heart. And I identified myself by that. So who do you think you are? At that time, I thought I was the fat cow. I thought I
Oh,
was dumb. I thought I was stupid. These were names I was being called as a child, not a teenager. And
oh
not that
my
that makes it
gosh.
any better. Not that that makes it any better, but just to show you you planted a seed at a very young age.
Hmm. And the
And
time that it takes to plant that seed, it takes just as much time to uproot that negative plant. And
right.
so you had to do a lot of work, WORQ,
True.
as you would say, in order to dismantle all of those negative words or the like that had taken root.
Yes. Yes. And it's only been in the last couple of years where I've actually felt free of it because I started doing the work. And the work for me was shadow work. The work was digging into those traumas, all of them, going back to some of the events in my mind of some of the things that were said to me. And when I took the life coach certification, going through that was very cathartic for me because the information that we were getting to learn how to coach others was coaching us in the
Oh yeah.
interim.
Oh
And
yeah.
because the curriculum called for us to coach one another throughout the course, then I was able to answer some of the questions that I didn't even know needed answering, or hearing some of the questions that I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was able to start pulling up some of that stuff in addition to the work that I had already been doing prior to. A lot of the reasons why I stayed in the shadows was because I felt like you're trying to be a life coach. And when people hear that, they just automatically, in my opinion, feel like you have never, if you're saying you're a life coach, that means you've never gone through anything. Your life is perfect because who are you to tell me anything?
Hmm.
That's what qualifies me to tell you the things that I'm qualified to tell you. Because I'm not going to speak on anything that I'm not qualified to speak on. If you want to talk about what it's like to have 3 children at 19, I got you. If you want to talk about how it is to have 3 children at 19 with no help from their father, I got you. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that's why I made my coaching niche something that I know about. Now, if I were to become a life coach and tell you that I'm going to coach you on financial literacy, that's when you should have questions. That should give you a little like, wait a minute, Leslie, financial. No. But when it comes to women empowerment and pulling yourself up from the bootstraps and trying to become a woman when you are still a child and
Hmm.
have children and you're trying to show them how to grow up and you still need to grow up.
Yeah.
That's what made me want to become a life coach because I know that there are other young girls out there who have had children at a very young age, and at the age they had those children, they stopped maturing.
Yeah.
I was 19 for about 25 years. I grew up with my children, good, bad, and the ugly. Yesterday, what was that? Day before yesterday, my daughter turned 30. I had
I
a,
saw that. I saw it was a birthday. Something happened on Facebook.
yeah, 30. And my baby girl will be 29 next Friday.
Mm.
My oldest daughter turned 31, 29, 30, and 31. So, and I'm 48. Do the math. You know what I'm saying? So I have experience coming from that aspect. And that's where I'm trying to get people to understand and see you can still have confidence. You can still believe in yourself. You cannot continue to define yourself by past experiences, whether you brought them on or whether they came on organically. Anything that anyone said, you're not what was done to you. You're not the choices that you've made. And it's not to say that you should not sit in that for a minute because you don't want to repeat that cycle. You need to sit in it for a second and be real about some of the mistakes you've made and things of that nature. But you can't take up real estate there. You
That's
have to
right.
know that you are
That
more.
is so important what you just said. It's taking up the real estate where that negativity exists, or where that, that hard place is. I think that's so powerful what you just said, because a lot of times we're human. We're gonna make those mistakes. We're going to, and I find that a lot of girls that, have a child at an early age, it's and mentally that growth stops, and they don't, they never recover from that. They never find that determination or that desire to
Yeah,
move past that. And I think that's what you just said, and that's what it is. They just take up the real estate there, and they're like, all right, well, this is it for
this is
me.
what it is. This is what it is. And then you're still trying to be 19 and you're 29. You see what I'm saying? And your children are watching you like, hey, lady, you know what I'm saying? And you're still trying to, and again, I know that you need to have your own life and you need to have that separation, but we know that there is a stigma of having children and still trying to hold on to this grain of youth and vivaciousness, and I want to go to the club and I want to do this and I want to do that. And again, you do have to have balance, but balance is the key word. So if you're a young mom and you are not taking care of your children the way they need to be taken care of, and you still all on Facebook with your this and your that going on, and everybody can see that it's not, honey, where your kids? Where your kids? You're
Hey,
you're out again. You what the old folks say, you're pissy drunk in these streets. Where is your children? Where
I
are
need
your
you to get
children?
it together, baby. I
You
need
know
you
what
to
I'm
get it
saying? And
together.
again, you have all right to have a life. You do. But you have to balance that thing out. But before I go too far left, I want to bring it back to my acronym, because who do you think you are? For me, coming from the verbal abuse, it made me feel like I couldn't be anything. I couldn't do anything, even though I knew I was talented in some way. Like I knew that there was just something about me, but I couldn't override the feeling of being less than.
Hmm.
It didn't matter how. I have journal upon journal that I have written. I have at least 19 journals full of content that have never gotten out, because who do you think you are? You think
Hmm.
somebody gonna read something you wrote? Who do you think
Wow.
you are?
Wow.
Who literally? Oh, you're doing a speaking engagement. Who do you, that voice? Who do you think you are? And I had to sit with that question. Who do you think you are? And you know what God gave me? You are already equipped.
Mm.
RE. You are everything that I put inside you December the 30th, 1972. You are already equipped. I have given you everything that you will ever need to walk out your purpose in this life. Stop allowing outside stimulation to make you disregard what I've put on the inside. You allowing all this external stuff to keep you from honing in on what I've equipped you with. You have been equipped. You are already enough.
Wow.
Already enough.
Mm, that's powerful.
I feel that.
Mm.
You are
Already
already enough.
equipped. Yes.
And and uh, and I was like, first when I got the already equipped, I was just like, oh my gosh, with everything that you need. That's what equip means. When you come into the game with your equipment, you got your cleats, you got your helmet, you got your, I've given you the equipment. I've
Yeah.
equipped you. But you have to believe. You have to believe. I've given you everything that you need to walk out the call that I have given you, to walk out the purpose for your life. You are enough. ARE, already enough.
Mm.
Take both of those thoughts, both of them, and really sit with that. I am enough. No matter what anybody says or thinks, I have to believe when I look in that mirror that I have everything that I need right now, today,
Yes.
to be who God says that I am. And it doesn't matter. And again, I take a little bit of the opinions of other people that are close to me that say, hey, you might want to do this way or that way. But when it comes to just letting a barrage of opinions and thoughts and judgments from other people, that's going to keep you bound if you allow those voices to be the one that helps you make your decisions in life. Greater is he that is in me. Period. I don't even have to quote the rest of it. Just if I just stay on greater is he that is in me. In me. That's what you have to think about. Already equipped to me is it that made me think as well. Well, if I'm already equipped, then what does that mean? And I broke that down into another acronym because I believe if you're going to give somebody something, then you need to give them the rest of it. I don't just want to say, you're already equipped. Now work it out.
Get it done.
Right, right. So what are the steps to knowing who you are? What do I do if I'm listening to this, this broadcast right now and I'm feeling stuck and I don't know who I am? How do I start to figure that out? And S is for stock. Another word for stock is inventory, but we're going to go with the S for stock. You're going to take stock in where you are in your life right now, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Where
Mm.
are you right now? Are you okay? Do
Mm.
you need do you need therapy? If you need therapy, get with it. Don't let there be a stigma attached to that. If you feel like you need therapy, then let's do that. If you need to make amends with a family member that you've been holding a grudge against, let's do that. If you need to work on your weight, your health, your relationships with your children, take stock. Those are just some examples of taking stock of where you are in your life right now. That's the first step to finding out who you are. The T in steps is for training. I believe that you have to do the work. And in the work, when I say training, I mean read a book, buy a book, rent a book, Kindle a book, borrow somebody's books. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
You need to take a class, sit in on something. You have to retrain your mind into getting to a place where, okay, we can't do the same stuff that we've done before, because that's what they say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. So if I'm going to expect a different result, then I might need to try and retrain the way I've been thinking all
Yeah.
this time. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So even though retrain, we're going to just make the T a capital. So ST, retrain your mind. Okay. Fill it with good content. Fill
Mhm.
it with books and podcasts and the Bible on tape or whatever it is you need to do.
There's
But you
so
need
much
to,
out there now.
there's
Like
so
there's
much
no
out there.
excuse.
No excuse.
You can go on YouTube and just type in positive and 20 million things are going to come up.
20 million. 20 million. And the next letter is E because I'm giving you steps. So the acronym is STE. And we've already talked about that. Equipped. You're already equipped. You have everything you need inside of you. And we know that we do. Sometimes we probably just trip ourselves out when we're sitting down writing or journaling and God gives you something or you come up with something and you're just like, what? You know?
Yeah.
Because it's already in you. It's
Like,
already
where did that come from?
Exactly. Exactly. We are already equipped and we have to stand firm on that. Already equipped. Okay. So God has already equipped us. And then P, provision. I truly believe that when we go through the other steps, the S, the T, and the E, then God will provide
Yes,
because we're doing the work. WORQ. We're doing the work. So he has no choice. I'm sure you've heard that expression in the church world, make a demand upon El Shaddai. And I've heard that expression. And as a child, I was like, make a demand on God. Y'all real cocky. But have you ever been in a situation where you had to make a demand on his word? I need you to show up strong in my life. I need that from you. I need, your word says that you are a God that cannot lie. I need you to be that for me right now. And that's making a demand. It's not talking to him sideways or crazy. It's just giving him back his word. And I believe that that's when provision comes in. Those doors begin to open. Those opportunities just begin to, that favor begins to come upon you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is STEP. Those, in my opinions, are the steps, the beginning steps of finding out who you are. And once you find it, you have to believe it.
Yeah.
That's a major part of it as well, because he can tell you and have us know it, but we just don't believe it. And until you believe it, nobody else will. So sometimes we look at this Facebook and don't get a lot of likes, or nobody's sharing or doing it. What are you doing behind the scenes that could be contributing to that, in the sense of what are you thinking about what you're posting? What are you putting out there when you're posting it? Are you putting it out there and saying, ain't nobody gonna like this while you're posting it? Or I'm gonna
Do
put this
you
out.
even like it?
Do you even like it? You know? And we have to be mindful of that, because we're in this internet world and this platform world, and we want to be what God wants us to be. But you know what I wonder, and this just came to me while I was talking to you, if Facebook or these platforms had never happened, what would I have done with all this content? Would I have just sat home with the big typewriter like back in the day?
And
Would I have been sitting here trying to peck up a book? You know what I'm saying? We have so many avenues now to be great. So many to be great. And when I say be great, that's your version of great. That's not anybody else's version of great. That's what great is to you when you look in the mirror. One of the things that my play auntie said to me, Ianla, is that she was talking to a bunch of other people as well, but she was just talking to me. And she said, all of y'all, and she'll be talking real geeky sometimes, all of y'all not gonna be me. You're not gonna get the platform that I have. So bloom where you are planted.
Yes.
Sit right here on this internet at this good computer desk and talk to these, how many people? 5, and give them what God gave you, whether it's 550 or 5,000. Give it to them, and stop trying to wait for your platform to get grandiose before you share what God has given to you. Because guess what? You're not going to get to that place if you feel like you too whatever to talk to the 5. That just made me think of the fish and the 5 loaves of bread.
Listen, you better be happy with that 5.
You better love on that 5. And I prayed about these 5. I said, whoever shows up in the room, Lord, let me have something to say to your people, regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless. Now, because we're at the 51 mark, and there was something that I told you that dropped into my little spirit on today that I felt like was worth sharing. And it's so funny to me, but this is how it starts, okay? So I have these little gems. Where's my camera? On the end of my locks.
Oh, okay.
Right? You see, it's a crown.
I see it. It's beautiful.
Okay, right. So I looked at the crown that I had on today, and wait, you see how dirty this one is compared to this one?
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Yeah, I can see it.
You see the difference in the shades?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I get out the shower and I look at this one and I'm like, how did your crown get so dull? And when I said that, I was like, my crown is dull. And that just sent my little mind into a whole little thought process. Who do you think you are? You're calling yourself Laladay, the content queen now. That's the moniker that I've given myself as I brand. Laladay, which is a breakup of the word lotus lady. Well, that's a whole nother animal. But anyway, it's lotus lady, but I pronounce it Laladay. And I'm like, Laladay says that she's the content queen. Well, her crown, this queen's crown is very dull. Okay, so what can I do to brighten my crown? And then my brain said, there's 7 points on a crown. There's 7 points on a crown. What are all your jewels on your crown shining and sparkling? And what are the 7 points on your crown? I know what my 7 points of my crown are, but can I look at my crown right now and say that all 7 points of my crown, which is representing my life, are all shining, sparkling like a beautiful, you know what a crown looks like. And I'm like, the crown is really, really dull. And I want my crown to be lit.
Wow.
I want my crown to be lit. And in order for my crown to be lit, I have to live in my truth. L-I-T.
Live in truth.
I have to live in truth in order for my crown to shine and sparkle. Okay. So I asked my best friend in that moment, and I know she thought I was crazy because I said, is your crown dull? And if it is, what can you do? What areas of your crown can you start shining up so it can sparkle again?
That's so
in
true.
order for your crown to be lit, you have to live in your truth. But if your crown is dull, you've designed yourself to living a lie. D-U-L-L. Designed yourself, U-R-S-L-E-L-F, yourself. You designed yourself to living a lie, and now your crown is dull. What's the lie? It's the lies that you tell yourself about why you aren't a queen, why you can't do this, why you can't do that. You see how all that just comes back full circle? I am a queen. That's who I think I am. And when I think about being a queen, I don't necessarily think about royalty in the sense of a castle and sitting on the throne. Javesha just said, polish it up. Exactly. Exactly. You have to be able to recognize what areas in your life need to be lit up again. What can make your crown shine again? Why is it dull? Take stock in that. Why is it dull?
Yep. Work on that.
Work on that. You know what I'm saying? Because when I called myself a content queen, that calling myself a queen, that took about a month for me to settle in on that, because you're a queen. That's what people you're a queen now. It's like, oh, you're a queen. Okay.
And it's so funny because that little voice inside our head, it like, I don't know where we get her from, but she just got a little attitude,
When I was
that's
in
what
my
you calling
coaching,
yourself?
you have to name them. That's what the coach said over the program. You have to name those little, so you can call them out. She called mine Ratchet Rachel. That voice in my head, her name is Ratchet Rachel. So I have to get with Rachel, because you're not going to hold me down any longer because I listened to her for a very long time. I had a very codependent relationship with that inner critic because
Mm.
she could talk me out of anything, and it didn't matter what it was. It could have something to do with my children. I'm not even joking. That voice in
Wow.
my head has talked me out of being all the things that I could have been. Now, granted, I know that God's timing is everything, and
Yes,
because
it
this
is.
conversation is had right now, maybe it was for such a time as this. But I
Such a
also
time
know
as
that
this.
I'm 48 years old, and 8 years ago when I was 40, I was still writing content that has
Mm.
never been shared with anybody. This what I'm
You better
sharing.
tell Ratchet Rachel to go somewhere because we got a whole bunch of people that need to hear what you have to say. Because what you had to say is powerful. You have some deep, powerful things stored up inside of you. So tell Ratchet Rachel goodbye.
Hi, girl. I'm for real. Like I
Mhm.
just really, I said what I told to you. Latara said, "Yes, girl, Ratchet Rachel." That's why we haven't gone walking yet because Ratchet Rachel, she'll know what I mean. Keep postponing starting to go and walking, but that's another part of it. When I thought about that, and I was like, well, I don't want to just come out the pocket sounding like I'm just completely off from our topic, but it matters. Who do you think you are? I think that I am Lala Day, the content queen.
Yes.
And she is already enough, and she is already equipped to do everything that God has told her to do. And even though her crown has been dull, she has replaced it with a nice shiny crown.
Look at that.
Okay, she's replaced the dull crown. She's no longer designed herself to living a lie. She is living in her truth. She
Yeah.
is lit. This crown is lit. Okay,
Lit.
this
Lit.
crown is lit. And like I said earlier about putting in the work, WORK. I mean, excuse me, WORQ. That was an acronym for working on recalibrating.
Mm. Look at
Queens.
you. Look at all this stuff. Ratchet Rachel been keeping us from all of these acronyms and all of these
That's
door
what
busting
have the acronyms just come, they just come. And that's what I'm known for. Even with in DSG, I started my whole thing and they realized then, oh, you good with the acronyms. That's how God speaks to me. And it's so funny to me because when I came up with that, I was laughing. I was like, dull. And I was at a restaurant eating earlier and dull just came to me and I had to write it down while I was at the restaurant because I was like, I had one for lit and I'm like, it just has to go together.
Mhm.
Real queens work. Real queens work. Okay. RYL. Real queens work. Recalibrate your life, queen.
Mm.
Recalibrate your life. Make the adjustments. Evolve. Modify what needs to be modified. Alter what needs to be altered. Reevaluate your life, queen, because real queens work.
Mm. Work.
Work. That sounds like a radio station. WORK. WORQ. The Real Queens Network. But seriously, that's what I want to leave with you all today. And I thank you all so much for tuning in to listen to this conversation. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity and the platform to be able to share. And I
That's
really hope
right.
that you all were able to get something from this information on tonight. Real Queens work.
Real Queen's work. I love it. I absolutely love it. Content Queen. I'm gonna need you to stop playing and tell Rachel to go sit down.
I'm, I am. I am.
Yeah, this was awesome. This was so amazing. And you know, we have been trying to get together forever. So
Yes.
this is great. We have to do more. We got to get together. We got to get your content out here
I
because women
know.
need to hear it. Like they need to know, they need to know to live in their truth. They need to know that real queens work. They need to know that they need to recalibrate their lives. Hello, somebody.
Get
And so
real.
this is so important. This is so good. This is good stuff, like good
Thank you.
nutrients.
Thank you.
Yes.
When it came to me, I'm like, does this sound crazy?
We
But I
need
had
crazy. It's for a time such as this.
exactly. And I
You
have
see what
been
we're going through? We need crazy right now.
we do need out of the box, not your regular whatever. And when I tell you these acronyms, those that's a drop in the bucket. This says good things come to those who hustle. And in this, the first few pages of this journal is 30 pieces of content that could easily be a book within, if I just sat down, like I've written it all out, 30 different journal prompts. And I'm just like, stop. Rachel got to go. I ain't even going to go into it. Rachel just got to go.
I'm gonna need you to tell Rachel to sit down, because
So
I gotta say it like Medea, sat down somewhere, because
she is, because even having this conversation and being able to share this with a new audience and seeing the comments that were coming up, that's so much encouraging. That's so much encouragement for me to,
it was amazing. It was awesome. There were so many powerful points throughout the conversation that I know. And I mean, I was over here like typing, trying to get everything in, and trying to tell them, this is the, take stock and and so I hope they were able to capture those, my note taking skills
yes
throughout the conversation. So this has been awesome. This has been so great. So tell, I know there's some people on here, not everybody, some people like know you, but some people don't. So let them know how can they connect with you. We want to stay connected, definitely.
Okay, I have a group on Facebook that is called the Lotus Sisterhood. Together We Rise. If you click on that, you can actually be a part of my support group, or as you want to call it. I do a lot of content on that page as well. And all the things that I'm working on, they go on the Lotus Sisterhood. As far as my content is concerned, that's pretty much the only place where it comes from. My actual Facebook page where you can follow me is Leslie Renee Mincy. And I also have an Instagram, and I believe it's Lolade Monife, LOLADE MONIFE 333 the little thing first. That's Instagram. The little at. So it's at Lolade Monife 333.
Okay. I hope y'all know
all the technology. But yeah, and I will make sure that I get better with that, because I haven't been, and you know how it is. I have the Lotus Sisterhood. I'm on there pretty much every day. So if anybody is on here who wants to follow me, I would definitely say reach out to me on my straight Facebook page, Leslie Renee Mincy, and I will add you to the group, the Lotus Sisterhood.
Perfect. Awesome. Leslie, thank you so much for sharing and having a conversation with us. I know that this was definitely transforming. It was confidence activating. It was soul edifying. You put my T.E.A. acronym.
Now, and what do you say it's good for?
So T.E.A. So it's confidence tea infusion. So we are transforming your mind, edifying your soul, and activating your confidence. So all of our conversations are meant to do just that. And so I know that tonight you definitely achieved just that.
And this is my tea for you. Thank you all for giving your time, energy, and attention to us for this last hour. Thank you for that.
Yes, that was the tea for real. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time. I hope you guys had a great time just chatting with us. Definitely connect with us on social media. We're here. We're going to be launching our official tea. We're going to have a tea launch. So it's going to be conversation. We're going to do it via Zoom. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And we're going to all be drinking some confidence tea. Yes. I know Leslie got a sample of the tea.
I did, you guys. It is awesome. Oh my God. Before you even drink it, the smell alone. I want to use it for an incense bag. Like, just hang it for incense. It's great.
It is. It's so good. It smells so good. So make sure you stay connected. That way you can grab you some of our tea and have some tea with us right here on Confidence Tea Infusions. Thank you, ladies. Have a good night.
Good night, ladies. Good night, Gigi.
Good night.